I think you just pointed out there was actually
an off backhand, right? When you
see, I'm dyslexic, so I get all messed up when I see Seles play. That's what Jana Novotny did very well the other day to get the 6-3 free love. She had a lot of drop shots, pulled Seles in, hit passing shots, lobs over.
Love 15, first game, second set.
Well, Monica may have won the first set 7-5, but in no way do I feel she's in control of this match. One of Martina's toughest shots, because she uses what's called a continental grip on her forehand, and it's just very difficult to go down the line.
I think everybody finds the backhand approach much easier to hit. It's a more natural shot. That forehand is just more awkward. You're kind of working against your body when you hit it.
Right.
Defending champion here, #1 player in the world, has the first game of the second set. We'll be back. Madison Square Garden, live coverage, Virginia Slims Championships. Monica Seles is at 1-love, second set. Pam, you played Monica. It's got to be hard to read which way she's going with the two hands, but more so the racket head speed.
It's very quick. As you say, you can't quite read where she's going. And the angle, for instance, on that last shot, very few people can produce that kind of angle. That was sort of as close as Seles has to a finesse shot. Usually she just blasts them.
Good.
Monica's given a good actress job here. I mean, that was right inside the line, looks like.
Well, when I said good, I didn't mean that I thought it was good, but that the lines person.
You know what? It's not inside the line. It's maybe on the line. If it hits the line here, it skids. The other thing about these first two sets is Martina has been the one serving down, which anytime a set gets close and you're the one serving last, it's tougher. There's more pressure on you. So she lost the toss in this match, and lots of times that can have a big effect.
Good luck and bad luck.
30-all.
It's such a relief when you're the server against Seles to have her miss the return, especially at 30-all. Doesn't happen much.
And Martina evens it up. It's 1-all, second set. An ABC college football day-night doubleheader kicks off Saturday with a showdown between national powers. The Florida Gators head to Tallahassee to battle the Florida State Seminoles. Action begins at 12 noon Eastern. Then in a primetime special, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame tackle the USC Trojans in a classic matchup. All live Saturday on ABC Sports. Love the scene.
Monica now feels, Pam, that the world's just against her. She's getting these bad calls deliberately. No? Yes?
Well, she gave sort of a little shake of the head there. She didn't quite approve of that one. But she gets on with it, I must say. She very seldom loses her concentration over the line call. But Monica's not on her game here. I mean, Martina should have won the first set, as we see David Dinkins, great fan of tennis.
He's certainly New York City's #1 tennis fan and plays 3 to 4 times a week at 6 o'clock in the morning before he goes to the office.
And he's enjoying, I think, some popcorn at the moment. That's good. Her shots are way off, I've found, in this match. Usually she's more consistent, but again, when the match got tight in that first set, exactly, and that's why she's #1. Oh my Lord, that was just long.
A wild pitch.
I saw the lob.
Where's your wallet?
And Martina has the break. We'll be back with a best-of-5 sets from the Garden after this. Back to the Virginia Slims coverage, and you're taking a look at the tournament directors, Ella Mussolino-Alber and Bill Goldstein on the left.
And they do a great job with this tournament. Yesterday, we had over 18,000 people in the Garden, and Bill Goldstein is very involved with politics of women's tennis. He sits on the Pro Council, the governing body. And Ella Mussolino is really the spokesperson of the group. She gets out on the court and makes the presentation. They're a well-rounded partnership. And they're sitting next to Ella Mussolino is Brian Tobin, who's president of the ITF, the International Tennis Federation, which is the governing body over tennis. They run the Olympics for the sport of tennis.
On the line.
30-15 there.
And Sports Etc. have been promoting and running this tournament for 17 years. That's putting in time.
Oh, what a volley.
Woo!
What a reflex volley that was. Both feet off the ground. Backhand reflex drop volley winner.
Woo, Pam, Martina has had the early break. Now, how much of a confidence booster is this going to be if she goes up 3-1?
Consolidating a break is always huge. Now she's got another chance now. Certainly that point was over with in a hurry.
Right.
Think she gets a little racket head speed here, Arthur?
A little bit. We have to take a half step to her right.
This crowd is loving that.
Wow. Ouch. The Boris Becker of women's tennis. Well, that would have been by everybody else on the tour, and this certainly would have also. The crowd just saw the replay. The Garden has a huge screen above the court, the Dynavision screen or whatever, and they're applauding the replay.
That's right.
They applaud anything Martina does, replay or live.
Meanwhile, Monica still is in the lead with a set.
But she's down 1-3. And as Julie's been saying, this is the time where the crowd can carry Martina for a few games.
And Martina does not want Seles to win any cheap games, which this one is becoming.
The only thing about a cheap game, Arthur, is that when you go to serve the next game, maybe you're feeling a little better. You're not as tired. Again, the forehand approach doesn't have quite the same consistency or placement as her backhand approach.
Or spin.
And Seles has the game. It's 3-2. Back at the Garden, 3-2, second set.
And that match was 7-6 in the third. That point was Iowa's receiving serve at 6-7 in the tiebreak in the third set to win it. And Martina said, Pam, hit it low, and I'm going to go. I said, okay.
And you looked pretty relieved when it was all over.
Big point now for Martina. Big point.
Now, that approach didn't have enough on it, wasn't deep enough, wasn't really anywhere. It wasn't directly up the middle, wasn't to the sideline.
It was forced. Seles technically ahead in that department.
Another key for Martina to win this match today, she's got to dig herself out of some of these service games where she gets down 15-40. Monica's going to always get on top of you sometimes, and if you can just squeeze out of a couple of these games.
And Seles has the break. It's 3-all, second set.
I wonder what Monica's mom does with all those notepads. I think they have like a computer and they store all that info.
I think it would be worth it with as much at stake as we have these days in women's tour. And I tell you, Pam, I think it's sensational. Partially because I have a 6-year-old daughter.
Well, in the rate we're going, if she plays the Kraft Tour in about 15 years, she'll be winning a couple $1 million, even if she's ranked out of the top 10, maybe.
And she has some bonus money in store for her here.
That's right. Both players win bonus pool money depending on where they finish with the Kraft points. And they're playing for prize money today. Its top prize is $250,000.
And right now, Pam, Martina is starting to unravel a little bit. The last 3 minutes in this match not gone her way.
The approach is a little better. It gets Monica off guard. It's a deep approach, and she volleys back behind Monica.
Martina
it and out called. Didn't get it.
And here's a look at the Virginia Slims ranking. Monica Seles, number 1. Steffi Graf, number 2. Gabriela Arancha Sanchez Cario. Martina at number 5. Mary Jo Fernandez, Jennifer Capriati, Conchita Martinez, Yana Novotna, and then Noah Menendez.
And those rankings are the computer rankings, which is based on 12 months of play. It's a continual 12 months. Whereas the craft points, you start in January 1st every year, and you earn these points in order to get into these Virginia Slims championships.
I know, you're patting me on the back. You saw another lob.
Well, honestly, that's the first offensive lob that I've seen Monica hit all week. In the match against Yana Novotna, I never saw her hit one. And yesterday against Gabby, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Well, it deuce 3-all. You've got to get the ball back in play. It was a reasonable serve for Monica, but it was only 75 miles an hour. Martina should have made a play on it.
We'll be back with more of live coverage, best of 5 sets from Madison Square Garden. And Seles has won the last 3 games for a 4-3 lead, second set.
Since Martina played that great point, dove to win the game at 3-1, she hadn't really been the same.
She hasn't, and she is trying to force the issue possibly a little too much, especially on the approach shots.
That's a lefty serve.
And here's a man who's been here all week, every day. Wilt Chamberlain, big fan of ladies tennis.
He was in Philadelphia at the Virginia Slims tournament last week as well, so this is a 2-week thing for him. Last night he was here at the Garden watching a pretty fair basketball player that people are comparing to Wilt.
Shaq?
The Shaq attack was here.
19 points, 18 rebounds, I think.
I don't know if he had a triple-double, though.
Good.
Is that the racetrack or basketball?
Both.
No, that's trifecta.
Oh, okay. Well, Martina's got a slight problem here, 15-30 on her serve. The momentum is clearly all on Seles right now.
What does Martina have to do now, Pat?
Well,
you know her better than anybody.
Well, I think if she could, she'd call a timeout. She can't. So she just needs to take her time. Shots a little more. Right there, do you see the way she went with her backhand? She imitated her volley, what she wants to do. Monica Seles well behind the baseline, clobbering the ball from the center, but that volley that Martina hit to her didn't have enough pace.
Pam, Martina was telling us yesterday that she cannot win unless she attacks, yet she doesn't seem to be attacking.
Well, as we saw, that camera looked like it was about to attack the court. Remote control. I'm glad they don't have a person up there. But she's definitely needs to figure out a way to get the momentum back. Go for your shots. Think clearly. Where is Seles doing the most damage? How is she passing?
Break point for Seles here. Monica goes up 5-3, second set.
And as Pam mentioned, Monica's one of the few players from that position who can whip it back across court with topspin and keep it in. Tony Roach could do that. Rosie Casals could do that.
You're bringing out some veterans here, Arthur. What about you? Did you hit that?
No.
All right, Martina's got a break here because if she gets down 2 sets to love, I don't like the chances. It's like 1 in a million. Not quite, but it's a long shot.
Well, the advantage now, if you can call it that, for Martina, is that she has nothing to lose, and your mindset changes when you're in that frame.
Okay. Love 30, we've got an opening. And the crowd, Martina's sort of gotten the crowd back out of it because she hasn't played an inspired game since the 3-1 game. She can play a big point, get the crowd back in at Battle Bell.
In a way, I think that was Martina's version of what she had to do to regroup, saying basically, I'm going to shade over toward my right, not make any errors. Trouble again, Pam, hugging the baseline, tried the half volley, and it was a giveaway.
Well, and the other day, I saw at the very end of Martina and Craig Carden's workout them do a drill where Martina was right on the baseline, and he just slugged the balls at her, and she was doing exactly that, hitting half volleys from the baseline. I don't think it's a great play.
Hold long.
Set point right here for Monica Seles. Martina does not like that call.
And from love 30 down, Seles has won 3 straight points.
For someone who doesn't like the volley, take that.
And Monica Seles has the second set in this best of 3 out of 5 set match live from the Garden. We'll be